Number 25. Since 2008, the federal government has allocated almost $3 million towards researching how gamers engage in quote-unquote creative collaboration online. How do they do this? By paying people to play video games. Who needs college anyway? Number 24. Over the past several years, the government, through the University of Puerto Rico, has spent almost $500,000 annually to study and document the social habits and behaviors of male prostitutes in Vietnam. Moving on, number 23, pancakes. In 2011, nearly $800,000 of taxpayer money went towards subsidizing an IHOP restaurant in an allegedly underserved neighborhood of Washington, D.C. Apparently, Columbia Heights falls into that category, but hey, rich people need pancakes too. Number 22, every year the Department of Energy, of all places, manages to waste over $2 million simply by failing to turn off the lights. That's enough to power 3,200 homes for an entire year. Number 21, as good as the United States is at handling its own budget, in 2011, roughly $2.6 million went towards parliamentary strengthening in Eastern Europe. In other words, we taught them to balance their checkbooks. Number 20. Every year, the IRS spends nearly $1 million to store unused furniture. And the last time we checked, they had over 20,000 items in their inventory. If they could learn to save money the same way they save desk chairs, we'd be getting somewhere. Number 19. In 2009, the Federal Aviation Administration spent $5 million to send 3,600 employees to a 3-week-long conference in Atlanta. Supposedly, it was necessary in order to promote harmony in the workplace. Number 18. Roses are red, violets are blue, I'll spend your money on rhymes at the zoo. That's right, last year the government spent just under $1 million posting snippets of poetry in zoos around the country. Number 17. Paper. Each year, government agencies rack up close to $1 billion in unnecessary printing expenses. Who reads those documents anyway? Number 16. Last year, the Philadelphia Housing Authority, an office funded almost completely by the federal government, used almost $1 million of its budget to pay off 4 female plaintiffs who filed suits against its director for sexual harassment. Number 15. Some of these will literally make you cry. In 2010, taxpayers forked over $90,000 to help promote the Vidalia onion brand in conjunction with the new Shrek movie. Number 14. Last year, the National Science Foundation spent $250,000 studying the reasons why political candidates make vague statements. Maybe next year they can spend some more money studying why our government spends so much money on such vague research. Number 13. Have you ever wondered what happens to all those neon signs when they flicker their last? Well, wonder no more. In 2010, almost $2 million were allocated towards building a neon sign graveyard just outside Las Vegas. Number 12. While America's youth fall behind the rest of the world in terms of education, the government has a solution: advanced technology. Last year, almost $100,000 went towards purchasing iPads for kindergartners in Maine. Number 11. In 2011, upwards of $700,000 was spent studying the greenhouse gas emissions of dairy farms. The conclusion? Cow burps produce a lot of methane. Number 10. Each year, the government spends almost $500,000 maintaining the office of the former Speaker of the House. In spite of the fact that he's almost never there, this covers his phone bill, cable, and even payments on a leased car. Number 9. In 2010, the government spent nearly $1.5 million renovating 36 toilets in Denali National Park, Alaska. That translates to over $40,000 per toilet. Number 8. In one of the stranger acts of budget allocation history, the federal government set aside $100,000 for a celebrity chef fruit roadshow in Indonesia. After some careful research, we're still not entirely sure what that even means. Number 7. As you've already seen, the government spends a good amount of money doing research, and over the past few years, at least a portion of that has gone towards observing monkeys as they throw poop at each other. We eagerly anticipate the findings. Number 6. Every year, government agencies spend over $4 million shuttling federal employees on nearly empty buses running along overlapping routes through the streets of Washington, D.C. A recent report found that half of the existing routes could be eliminated with no change in service, but unfortunately, none of the agencies are willing to share. Number 5. In yet another groundbreaking study, the government spent almost $500,000 trying to determine the trustworthiness of tweets. $500,000. Number 4. In 2011, the United States spent nearly $18 million on foreign aid programs to its biggest sovereign lender. This included $2.5 million for social services and $4.4 million to help improve its environment. Number 3. Every year, the government delivers over $120 million worth of benefit checks to deceased federal employees. It's literally sending money to dead people. Which brings us to number 2, opinions. Although this isn't a budget item, it is an important point. Everyone has one, especially concerning how federal tax dollars should be spent, whether it's monkey poop, pancakes, or toilets. So, as funny as some of these can be, their importance is a matter of opinion, and their slice of the federal debt is absolutely negligible. Which leads us to number 1. What do we really spend money on? You'll notice from the chart that almost 75% of the federal budget goes towards Social Security, Medicare, interest payments, and defense. The other quarter gets divided up among the remaining departments of the government. So, at the end of the day, a good chunk of your paycheck is going to 2 things: insurance and guns.